just you're having your Brussels sprouts with your elk meat or whatever, I don't think it's a problem. So, I do get a little, I see, like you mentioned, Dr. Sean Baker, he's like, he put out a video about, like, he mentioned my names talking about how I only talk about in vitro data. And I'm like, dude, go watch my video or my interview with the expert at Johns Hopkins. We're talking about human studies.
Right.
The in vitro data is coming from the opposite, the damaging effects. It's in vitro. Dumping it on a culture cell.
There's two things going on. There's a real cursory examination of data where and then this confirmation bias, and the combination of the two of those things. They find one thing that sort of kind of vaguely supports what they want it to support, and then they run with it and they talk about it as if they're experts.
Very dangerous.
Yes, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so happy that you're talking about this, because you can give people a real comprehensive understanding of all the different things at play. And one of the things that I get from you when I talk to you about nutrition is it's mind-boggling how many different factors are going on simultaneously in the human body when it comes to nutrition, absorption, when in the various stages of the body, and how it can vary with different people. I mean, there's so much going on.
Right. Yeah.
So when someone just starts talking about vegetables are toxic, like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Have you read any of the study? Have you just go look at the scientific data? But
they want it to be toxic. This is what's crazy. This is an ideology that's akin to veganism. It's really just another side of the same mindset. It's almost like a religious mindset. There's this hashtag.
You said it, not me.
I did say it. Look, I'm a fucking meat eater.
Yeah, I know you are.
You can't accuse me of being anti-meat. But I eat more vegetables, I think, than I eat meat. It's certainly like right up there, and I'm not giving them up. I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me, and I like them. Like,
right.
There's this weird push, and if you look under hashtag meat heals, there's all these people telling these stories about how they lost all this weight and they did all this blah blah blah, and their health benefits and but they only want it to be because of the consumption of meat only. They think that it's because of the singular aspect of their diet and the fact that they've eliminated everything else, but they're not. They don't do any studying of elimination diets. They don't do any study of the prolonged benefits of fasting and all these different things that you're talking about, which I think these are all factors in this really complicated thing that's going on that most likely has something to do with their gut biome and their immune system.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, those are two major confounding factors, like so major. It's important. It's just important to approach this like a science, and not like a religion, like you said, where you want to believe something, and so you just find, this study that I also see circulating around that why plants are really bad to eat. It's like they're
mean.
The insect anti-nutrients or pesticides. It's from my former mentor, Dr. Bruce Ames, who spent his entire career like advocating micronutrients from vegetables and from meat and from fish. It's like so ironic. But if you actually read the paper, not only does it say it doesn't, these insect anti-feedants like sulforaphane don't cause cancer, but it also it has a whole section on heterocyclic amines from cooked meat. So if you really want to use that paper as an argument why to not eat plants, then maybe read the paper and realize, it's also talking about heterocyclic amines as well. The point of the paper was like, I'm getting a little emotional here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Good, I like it. You're getting out of your robot self.
The point of the paper was basically not to worry about like some of the amounts that you're being exposed to with some of these natural, insect anti-feedants that are found in plants, and some of the cooked things in meat, and as well as some of the pesticides that are found in synthetic pesticides, basically that they're in such small amounts. So that was kind of the point of the paper. It was back in the 90s. But I just think that it's a little, hypocritical to use a paper and literally it's like proliferated everywhere. I see this paper all the time.
Yes.
It's like, well, did you read the paper? Because it has a whole section on the insect anti-feedants from coffee, which a lot of people drink, and also from meat.
What there's that thing that people do where they do have I have a joke about it in my act about I read a study that said that sperm can cure depression in women. And I slammed my laptop shut, and I didn't read another word. I'm like, I found the cure. But this is what
you read the title, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially what these people are doing. They will read or recite. Oftentimes not even read, but recite from someone else's reciting it in a video.
Who didn't read.
Right, which is what's going on with a lot of this stuff. And this is what I'm concerned with. I keep seeing all these people like, hey, I'm going to try the carnivore diet. Hey, try the carnivore diet. I'm telling you, it's amazing. And I'm just sitting here shaking my head. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you want to eliminate a massive source of bioavailable nutrients? Like, and then when they're talking about the negative consequences of consuming vegetables, that there's, different sort of toxic elements. I do remember you talking about how these stressors can actually have a positive and beneficial result when your body reacts to these stressors.
Yeah, that's exactly how exercise works. It's exactly how fasting works. It's exactly how heat stress from the sauna works. And it's how these phytochemicals, I'm calling them phytochemicals just as like a generic category, but they're compounds that are made by plants to ward off insects, and we evolved eating them, and they activate amazing stress response pathways in humans, in our brain, in blood cells. I mean, it's just human intervention trials showing this. So, you're going to miss out. Like,
yes.
We evolved with it. We're supposed to be stressed by exercise, by fasting, doing the time restricted eating. Like, we're supposed to do that, and we're supposed to eat some plants.
I think they're trying to they're trying to simplify something that's incredibly complicated, and they're doing it with this sort of religious fervor. It's very strange, and I can feel it when I talk about it, where people get upset. They're getting upset at me like I'm criticizing Jesus or something. It's
I know.
Very weird. And again, I'm not a vegan.
Right. I'm not a vegan either.
Yeah.
I eat lots of meat.
Yeah.
I think you and I have had conversations about the importance of meat.
Yeah.
So
it's a religious thing. It really is. It's the same sort of mindset that allows people to get just rabidly Republican or anything else, like fill in the blanks, whatever it is,
Right.
Look, it's just a thing that people do. There's two different camps in jiu-jitsu. Want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
There's gi and no gi. A gi is it's a kimono, this white or you could wear different colors now, but they start out with white. And a lot of people learn their jiu-jitsu grabbing onto the gi, like sort of a judo gi or karate gi, and utilizing it as part of the grappling technique. And then no-gi came along, and what no-gi is, they use rash guards, they don't grab the clothes, and they concentrate on control of the body with underhooks and overhooks and gable grips and things along those lines. And it became a religious battle between gi and no-gi. And I remember sitting there watching this, and it was a problem because people would get angry, like, what camp are you in, bro? And I train both. I have a black belt in the gi. I have a black belt in no gi. I train both of them. I think there's benefits to both of them. But there was this weird thing where you were supposed to choose sides. It's since alleviated and people realize how preposterous it is. But for a long time, like 4 years, the jiu-jitsu community was split, where people were angry at people who wore the gi or angry at people who wore no gi. Like my friend Eddie Bravo, who teaches no gi, people were angry at him for teaching a system of jiu-jitsu that didn't involve a certain type of clothing. It's the same mindset. Yeah. People just want you to believe what they believe only, and they get rabid about it. They get crazy. And I'm seeing this with this carnivore diet. And I think there's a psychological aspect of it to it that you were talking about in terms of this placebo effect. Then I think they feel like, I've never felt better. I'm on this carnivore diet. I'm doing chin-ups. I'm running around the block. Like,
especially when you read about everyone feeling better. It makes...
I want in. I want in on this carnivore diet. And then there's also, well, if you are doing this as opposed to the standard American diet, I think you have the same sort of response that you have when people are talking about the positive benefits of the vegan diet. I think if you have a vegan diet in comparison to eating chips and fries and soda, yeah, you're going to feel fucking amazing.
And people talk about it too, just like they do the carnivore vegans.
And they want you to do. I mean, I'm seeing the same patterns that I see with vegans, where these carnivore people are putting meat in their screen name. Meat Eater Mike, Carnivore Carl. They're fucking crazy people. They're doing the same thing the vegans do. With like, I'm the vegan warrior. I'm Carnivore Carl. Fuck you plant-eating, poison-eating assholes. You don't even understand what you're doing to your body.
And then I'm getting thrown in there too because I like plants. You're like, fuck you.
Right, yeah. Like, you get thrown in.
Yeah.
You have to pick a camp.
I'm not picking a camp. I'm an omnivore.